Hi viewers, we'd like to welcome you to MelVee Broadcasting Network. And just this particular session, we are going to be a little bit reflective. It's been a year exactly in South Africa since lockdown, since COVID. And we thought, let's take this conversation online, let's record it and just see what's been happening the past year. A lot has happened. We've lost relatives, friends, but in the same breath, a lot of growth has happened. A lot of introspection has happened, new equipment, new videos, the word of God has spread even more amidst all of this. And we decided let's have a conversation. And I love having a conversation with my uncle. So today we said, let's put it online and let's have a conversation on it. Hi, Uncle.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Are you all right?
I'm very well, thanks.
You look nice today. To see today we are in suits and...
thanks to you. Thanks to
you. So let's top it up a little bit.
Yes.
I think maybe let's reflect on the first... I know we started in 2011. Mm-hmm. I would like us to maybe... Let's just reflect quickly from 2011 plus about 7 years, let's say maybe till about 2018. Mm-hmm. Okay, your first 7 years.
Yeah.
How have they been like? And how was it? What is your strategy? Maybe let me be specific. Mm-hmm. What was your strategy for the first 7 years?
So when we started, the vision was bigger.
Yeah.
It was global.
Yeah.
We aimed to become the divine voice out of Africa, which is the tagline we've kept until now.
Yeah.
And our strategy then was, because of the limited capacity we had, we started with what we would call videos on demand.
Okay.
So we would record and then edit it and then publish it.
All right. Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And so that's largely what we did for the...
So essentially what we're doing now, it will be a video on demand.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
So we're not live now.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna edit this and make it look nice and then put all the graphics and then upload it and then have it available, let's say, at a certain time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's a video on demand.
Okay, so literally the first 7 years we're doing a video on demand.
Yeah.
Is that better? Is that easier?
It's difficult.
Okay.
Because it all goes to it really goes with what capacity you have.
Okay.
In terms of recording, storing. Because remember, you're creating a data bank of content and then being able to publish it.
Okay.
All right. And not only publish, but in between the recording and the publishing, there's a lot of processing. All right. Post-production processes for editing. So you've got to have very powerful computers. And we didn't always start with the best computers and the best processors.
Yes.
And so we used to struggle. Sometimes we would actually export a video the whole night, because the processor is slow.
I remember you would when we started, you would go to different churches, even when you were preaching.
Yes.
You put your camera and then Aunt would then record and sit and all of that.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
That was video on demand.
Okay.
That's what we did for most of the times. The beauty of that, and I'm sure for anyone doing videography, is that it gives you control of what you can
pull out
in terms of the quality, the editing, and you can decide if it didn't come out well, it's not going to see the light of day. But if it came out, then you flight it out there.
So you have no excuse to produce or to shabby work and not quality, because you have time to edit and do all sorts of things.
In fact, our commitment was that we will strive for excellence to make sure what goes out really represents us.
Oh yeah.
We have dotted where it needs to be dotted. We have color corrected what needs to be color corrected. The titles are correct. There are no typos. And
no
make sure
spelling errors.
No spelling errors, and you represent your content in the best possible light.
Yeah.
So that gives you control,
right,
of what you're doing. The other thing, of course, we used to do was we diversified our content.
Okay.
So we didn't just do sermons. In fact, we didn't have capacity to record long sermons. We could only record short videos.
Okay.
Right. So it was devotionals that we used to cut out a lot and dish them out every week.
And the health nuggets and all of that, I remember. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before we go on the other side, I'm really intrigued about this whole live streaming, and I'd like to know more about it, because I know you're now fully into it. Just before we get to live streaming, what's your take on videography? What's your
I think
What's your thing? Why are you so fixated? Why are you so in love with your videography?
a number of things come into mind. Firstly, being a psychologist that I am, it's a better stimulus.
Okay.
In terms of engaging.
All right.
Your eyes are in it, your ears are in it, your emotions are in it. Okay. So unlike the written text, videos engage people almost 3 or 4 times higher in terms of pulling crowds and people. Videos are just generally more user friendly.
Yeah.
They're easy to consume.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And obviously it takes time to develop them, but videography as an area, I believe, has actually revolutionized religion, because videos have shifted, and now we talk about live streaming. It has shifted the perception of people from sitting in the pews. So what's more important now? It's not just the people in the pews, but the views you have online. All right, it's no longer about the amens in church. It's about the likes.
Who's watching actually.
The likes. All right, it's no longer about members who are in your congregation. It's now about viewers who are online and subscribers.
It has gone beyond church membership. It has gone beyond what religion you're in. It's about who is actually watching the content that's being aired out.
Exactly. And we do know, in terms of videography, has become a bit cheaper to produce. So anyone with a smartphone can kick out full HD 4K videos, and they are more engaging for audiences, and people like to read them, to watch them as they go. And so my take is that the future of communications, the future of broadcasting, particularly communications sector, even business. Need I also be a prophet, if I may? The future of the church is in videography.
True. Well, true.
Ask me why, because COVID has proven.
I was just about to. It really has. And you're right, because a lot of churches are being closed, churches are being opened here and there. But I think what's been constant for the past year, just from the lockdown, since COVID-19 started till now, videography, videos, online sermons, online music has been very constant. It has never closed down. So I get you. It definitely is the future.
How do you close up a video that's online and it's doing rounds on all social media platforms? So
and people are sharing and liking and sending it on WhatsApp and all of that stuff. Okay, you mentioned something while you're talking on videography. Can we tap more? And I think I want us to literally sit on this for a couple of minutes on live streaming and when you started live streaming and how was it?
So what we have seen is happening. Maybe let me speak generally, globally.
Yeah,
I've seen a transition of businesses, self-starter initiatives, marketing particularly, move towards the space of using videos to communicate their messages and their brands, and to reach their consumers and their customers.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are relying on videos.
True.
In fact, statistics are saying in 2020 alone, marketers used videos up to about 38%.
That is crazy.
In terms of their strategies for reaching out. Now, when it comes to online shopping and consumption and consumer behaviors online, they are more likely to consume content that's got visuals. And 80% of consumer traffic online are actually viewing products through videos.
True.
So the projection is that by the end of, I think it was 60% in 2020, by the end of 2021, which is this year, there is an expectation that videos will be constituting about 80% of online content consumption for customers and consumers.
You're actually spot on saying videos are a thing now. They're using it as a marketing strategy because it's everywhere. You get a video from your phone, it pops up. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, whatever platform you're on, videos are constantly catching up, and you find yourself linking on it and going to their website just because the video popped up and it was catchy.
Absolutely.
And so definitely. So how have you used that?
So since 2021 and since 2011, like I said, we've been doing videos on demand. But the landscape changed, and it changes very quickly. 2017, technology began to allow us to kind of have data. Thanks to the data must fall movement, it got a little bit cheaper and gadgets were now available that we could now start creating content in real time. That's live streaming. Live streaming simply means for me, the content is coming to the viewers as it is being generated. All right.
With no filter,
nothing,
no fixing up.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
It is what it is. and what you get is what is happening there. So the only delay is that it may come with a little bit of latency, but really what's happening in the site is what you're getting right there.
Yeah.
So internet began to allow us. So the rollout of broadband and the rollout of LTE, the rollout of 4G and 5G, and of course the coming in of fiber.
The 5G that brought in COVID-19.
as those who try to speculate and conspirate about things. But that has actually given us the leverage to be able to do live streaming. So it's interesting actually that how it started was not with us as MelVee doing the live stream.
All right.
I think in May 2017, the colleagues at SID Media were running a big campaign in Harare with Pastor Randy Skit.
Okay.
So Noel Sbanda then contacted me and said, hey, could we perhaps also live stream on MelVee? Because we've got this content that's going out live. If you're available, I said, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead. So I got in touch with Tembi, the IT director for SID, and set up the system. And so the first live stream that went on MelVee for like 2 weeks was live streaming from our colleagues at SID.
Okay.
So we took advantage of that opportunity to learn how they're doing it. And fortunately, I was in Harare during those 2 weeks, so I actually visited Harare, Sheraton. There's a picture I posted on Facebook, actually.
Yeah.
Sitting on the mixing desk that Noel and the team were working on. And so that became our first live stream experience on MelVee. And we looked at this thing and we're like, wow, this is beautiful. And wow, it actually cuts out a lot of your post-production time.
Oh yes, of course, because no one is sitting after that to edit and all of that.
It's already online.
Yes.
So we decided, you know what? And it's good actually because I could see there, Saneliso was sitting on the other machine. That's from SID. Chatting with people and talking and exchanging.
It becomes interactive and all of that.
Very engaging. And I said, I think I like this. But then we didn't have the capacity. So it took us a bit of time to get the capacity. So by 2018, we then had our first experience of live streaming. Okay. And this was with one of our guest speakers. We're running a number of seminars in 2018. We had the Broken but Blessed seminar with Eunice Kemunto from Canada. So we decided to go live with that. Right. So the videos are there online. And then a month later in September, we had Pastor Ivan Yatanga visiting from Harare. And so we had the Symposium of Grace and we live streamed that as well. And so since then, 2017, 2018, 2019, we didn't quite major on that, but 2020 was a game changer. So 2020, because church, so here's what happened. And this is perhaps the lesson I'm learning from how we should do ministry. Particularly talking about live stream. So we were planning to go to Harare for a Bible conference in the end of 2019, the December Bible conference with the MSU Students Association. And we had been trying to get live streaming done. From 2018, we couldn't. 2019, we said we must do live streaming.
Why couldn't you?
Capacity.
Okay.
Data issues.
All right. Okay.
Africa generally, you struggle to get good, strong, reliable internet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. All right.
So we couldn't just get to do it. And so we then said, okay, what's our next step? We then said, no, let's buy the equipment and make sure we have the equipment. So end of 2019 sees us going around to buy our mixing and our streaming equipment. We didn't know COVID is coming, but we were being pushed because there's this exciting opportunity to not only do videos on demand, but also to do live streaming
as well. Yes.
And so God gives us the privilege to get the funding. We buy the mixer, we buy the switcher, we buy the
necessary tools for you to do it.
To do the live streaming. So we've got it. January 2020, I decided, my internet at home is very slow. Let me buy a fast internet deal. So I'm getting in touch with service providers and we get a good data deal, 20 megabytes per second upload.
Wow.
And so we
That's quite
said,
fast. Yeah.
by this, Njabulo, this is January, we have no idea COVID is coming. But the Lord was just giving us that preparedness. So we couldn't carry the mixing equipment to Harare for the November one in 2019
Yeah.
because it was not ready. But then when we came back, it was ready. We did the internet, we did the equipment.
The whole setup and yeah.
Yeah, and so 2020, I remember the date was on the, if I recall, it was the 9th of March. The first case of COVID was reported in South Africa.
Yeah, it was March.
The gentleman who traveled from Italy.
Yeah,
from
Italy
Town.
and to Cape Town.
And then there was this big
It was a
noise.
couple. It was a couple.
Yes, a couple.
Yes, it was a couple.
And so suddenly there's a shift in discussions. There's a possibility the country could be locked down. By this time, we're already ready. The Lord has given us the internet. The Lord has given us the equipment. And by the 27th of March, which is the very day South Africa's economy was declared junk by the Moody's. And that's the very weekend we got hacked as MelVee. So we couldn't stream once the country got locked down. So it took about 19 days or so, less than 3 weeks, for the country to be locked down. All right, and for churches to be told you can't.
No, you can't attend. Yeah.
So how are you going to minister and reach your members? Live streaming becomes the opportunity. But we didn't live stream immediately because we wanted to watch the space and see what's happening,
what the feel is on the ground.
But fast track to June, it became very clear. I think from the time the country had a lockdown, we were running a 1-hour session on Sabbath afternoon. 5 p.m. would go live.
Yes.
And then we decided, you know what? I think we could actually run a full 24-hour broadcast to cater for all the MelVee fans across the world. So we then began round about June. I think it was June, if I recall, the 20th. We put our first video out, and it was meant to run for 24 hours.
Oh wow!
And it did. So for the first time in the history of MelVee by 2020, pushed by COVID.
It's crazy.
So context is important.
It is.
We started our first live stream, and so for the rest of 2020, we actually pushed out 104 live stream sessions.
That is crazy.
And we thank the Lord that we were able to do that, because now you understand why in 2020 MelVee then doubled its subscriptions. And so when you asked me about live streaming and its impact on the ministry, I could spend the whole day telling you about that.
So just want something to just want some clarity. So if we do a video on demand, I think that's what you term it.
Yes.
And this is live stream. How has it possibly contributed to the growth of MelVee? I know we doubled. The viewers were doubled, but why would you prefer live stream over video on demand, and why does it seem to capture more viewers than a video on demand?
I would say video on demand is too laborious.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't only record it, but you'll have to watch it, edit it, and then and export it. And then upload it, all right, for people. So you engage with this content a lot of times. So there's a lot of work to be done in the backend. So you sit and just click on that button and you're watching, and then you're complaining about this thing, but it would have taken this editor hours. So that's one thing I think videos on demand would impact on your time. Whereas live streaming, you could actually easily generate the video, be switching your cameras on real time, doing your graphics immediately, and this thing goes out immediately. By the time you say amen or you close that meeting, that whole content is already online. Not only is it online, but you have a chance to be engaging with your viewers, your subscribers, and they could be liking it, and they could be giving you feedback. They could be affirming the things they like and the things they don't like in real time. So from an engagement point of view, live streaming does contribute to the growth and the visibility of whether it's a brand or it's a ministry or it's a church. You need quality live streaming. And it's not just, it's not just about putting your video online and you're saying we are live. yeah, we are live.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think live streaming makes me so nervous because you are right behind the cameras and this guy or whoever you have asked to present,
Yeah.
you know, like you have no control to it. It's nerve-wracking. It's
That's
nerve-wracking
actually-
because they can actually say whatever, but you're live streaming already and it's under the MelVee banner and it could go south.
So there are things you need to do in advance
Yeah.
before you do the live stream. But it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's more engaging. It gets more people excited to really watch this in real time. So that element of this, of saying it's actually happening right now, and I'm watching this thing, it's happening right now, it's not comparable
Yeah.
to anything, not even with premiering of videos, which is another new concept YouTube has come up with, and Facebook, where you could do the video on demand, upload it, and then schedule where it's gonna
end.
where it's gonna play.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that's premiering.
All right. Okay.
It's content already packaged. But live streaming, it's a whole different ball game altogether. And you're quite right. Anything could go wrong. So the lessons we've learned as MelVee is that there's a lot of advanced preparation that you need to make.
All right.
And there are a number of things you really need to make sure they're in place.
Quick one. Just I'm gonna put you on the spot. Just give me four of them. Just out from the top of your head.
So
For someone who's trying to because that's the purpose of this particular particular show is really just empowering each other, showing where MelVee is coming from and where it's going, their challenges, and what's actually working on the ground at this particular moment. When we're talking off air, we're talking about how things are changing and evolving all the time. You know, you had to evolve and go into live streaming because it's what's needed and what's on the market.
Yeah.
So just from the top of your head, just four things to look out before you go into live streaming.
The first thing I would say, any live stream that distinguishes itself from the rest of others should have three core things.
All right.
For me. You must make sure, maybe let me take a step back. Let me anchor this on the Bible because I do some trainings on this particular area. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, and God said, let there be light. In that verse are two most important things you should make sure any of your live stream has.
Yeah.
Ask me what it is.
What it is.
God said.
Power.
Audio.
Power.
Audio must be clear.
Power.
You must know. Because God said that's audio. When God speaks, you must hear.
You must hear.
So when people are live, clear, crisp audio. So you must know where your audio is going to come from and whether it's clean audio and the levels are adjusted and this thing has got the effects you need to make sure when it goes out, people can hear it loud and clear.
So I just want to ask the producer at the back. Is my audio sounding good there? All right, perfect. Okay, cool. I think we're crystal clear. God said.
God said, it was heard. And secondly, the verse says, let there be light.
Yeah.
And we know it was not until the fourth day that the sun was created. So the first day when God said, let there be light, that was his glorious holy presence. But there was light, which then allowed him to then do all the things he did. So one could say lighting is very critical. We must be visible to that camera.
Yeah.
And most of the professional cameras require very good, clear lighting.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are many types of lighting, but make sure your set is well lit and people can see. And obviously, you need very reliable internet. I'm sure people have watched videos where sometimes someone is talking and the picture goes,
yeah.
When it comes back, it goes, and then there are some boxes on the screens, and that's actually dropping frames, which means the internet is not able to encode the video and send it to the internet without dropping some frames. So when certain frames drop, your stream
it's encrypted. Yeah, it's disturbed.
It's disturbed.
Yeah,
it's distorted.
Disturbed, yeah.
And so you need a very reliable internet package. You know, the people who do blogging and who recommend internet speeds are saying you should not get less than 5 megabytes per second.
Okay.
For your upload speed.
Not less than.
Not less than. Okay. If it's tethering around 3, 2, 1, 4, even 5 sometimes, because if it's wireless internet, there are always dips in the strength of the internet. So I would say go for a line that's not less than 10 megabytes per second. If possible, go for fiber. If not, make sure it's an LTE package that gives you high speeds. So the higher the megabytes per second, the better your stream to go up. And obviously, if you've got the luxury of having 40 megs or 50 megs in terms of speed, then you can begin to run more than one live stream.
Oh, okay. All right.
But there are also softwares that allow you to upload one stream, like restreaming. You know, send it to restream, then you can distribute it to the different platforms for your live streaming.
All right. Okay.
So I think the three main things I would highlight is definitely
this is possibly, maybe just in layman's terms, I just want to get you properly. This is where then it can be aired on Facebook, on YouTube. And other different
you can do
at
Twitch
the same time. Yes. Okay, cool.
Do any other all of these free platforms.
Yeah.
You could run it on all the different free video content hosting sites like your Facebooks, your YouTubes, your Twitches and Instagram and others, or Twitter. So you could actually go live on those platforms at any time. And so the higher the speed, the better. And obviously at the end, you need to make sure that you've got the right equipment. That's the fourth thing, perhaps that's very key. And by right equipment, let me also say, you can still use your phone to do live streaming. It does kick out a good video stream out if your network is good. So if you just want to be a starter, you just want to be live, you just want to get people to watch you and to follow you, you just go live on your cell phone and people can follow you. And I know a lot of people who do that. But if you want now to earn money and you want to charge people for a service, which sometimes we do for live streaming with professional cameras, and take all of these different cameras and plug them into Zoom. All right, because our system allows us to do that. Then you need the proper gear, both for cameras, for the mixers, the switcher, and then the live streaming or the encoder to send your content,
your information,
online. So gear becomes a big determinant for what you could do.
So I think viewers, whoever's watching this and whoever is thinking of live streaming or thinking to get into videography, it doesn't take much. You can still do it with your phone and still live stream and still spread the word of God and still spread whatever you want to say. You can still do it. You don't have to wait till you have 55 cameras and lots of lights. You know, you can still do it. I think that's very fair. I think as we're getting to a close of this particular chapter, what have you learned from just this past year? I think let's just focus on the past year, because a lot has happened in this past year, especially with MelVee. MelVee has grown in a space of a year. It's, like fire, literally.
Exactly. I've learned that when you are consistent, opportunities will always find you ready. Opportunity becomes an opportunity when you've been found ready. But if you are not ready and opportunity knocks, it becomes a challenge.
I'm just reflecting on what we were talking about earlier. And like you're saying, opportunity finds you when you're ready. SID then calls you and says, hey, can we also now, can we stream, live stream on your platform as well? And had you not been ready, then you were never going to learn how to do live stream. You know, it was going to take you maybe years later or even never.
We had been working.
So being ready is very important.
We had been working. We had been putting videos out. We had been growing our MelVee family. So by that time, it was quite a lot of people, 50 odd something people. So opportunity must find you ready. Don't wait for opportunities to start working.
Okay.
Get ready. And be adaptive. Adaptation to changes is very critical. Like I said, our strategy was based on our capacity. But when the environment changed, we had to change our strategy to fit to what's happening currently. So we could have remained with videos on demand, but would have missed out on other opportunities that live streaming is providing. So we had to dig deep into our pockets, and thanks to those who have supported us here and there to really have that capacity. But the other thing I noticed, it doesn't take much to change this world. It takes one invisible virus somewhere to change. You would remember I always say, I
yeah.
said this to you, that when we first uploaded our first videos, someone said, I don't do Facebook and YouTube on Sabbath. You remember I said that?
Guess what?
But guess what? In 10 years, it took a virus
for everyone to be on Facebook on Sabbath morning looking at MelVee.
So never say never to certain things, because you just never know what God has in mind for the future. And so I've learned that we must not take things for granted. When we have an opportunity to do something, we must do it when we can, because things can easily change.
Bless.
This opportunity we have now, we may not have it forever. And so I learned that we need to be ready. And it takes 3 weeks or less than 3 weeks between the 9th of March
to the
27th of March, the country was shut down. Those who were not ready to live stream were caught unaware. Churches had to be shut down. Those who were not willing to part with their resources thought it was too expensive to do live streaming. But for those who were ready, they upped the game.
They did.
We began to do 24-hour live streaming, all right, because we were ready by that time. So things can change very quickly, but be ready, like I said, at any time. You know, what I've learned is this life is fleeting. It's like smoke. You could lose your health anytime. You could lose your life.
You could.
You could lose your job. You could lose your loved ones. But you must be ready for those changes. How do you get ready? Get clarity on what your purpose is. And just keep doing what you have to do.
Consistency.
Let me challenge you and maybe the viewers out there. Our second MelVee live stream, in fact, the first one, we had a venue, we had agreed with some brothers, and they let us down at the 11th hour. And I had to go and do this live streaming at one brother's house. Let me not say his name now, but he knows, I'm sure, if he's watching. We had to ask him for his place.
Wow.
To set up and do live streaming there. So it's not going to be easy. The second live stream, this one is very emotional to me. So I hope I don't cry.
Okay.
I've got some
don't worry, I've got some tissue. I've got a lot of things. I'm ready for you.
So the second live stream with Pastor Nyatanga.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was critical.
Yes, I remember. So I remember that week.
The very night when Nyatanga was flying in to start this campaign, the very next day, is the very day my mother-in-law passed away. So we had to do that whole week of live streaming between the mortuary and the hospital and the pulpit. It was between the hospital.
I remember it very well.
The mortuary, the police, and the pulpit. So we'd run around during the day, but at night we'll still run.
Not even at night, at 4
p.m.
4:35.
Yeah, you were there.
Yes,
you were there.
Yes,
you were doing sound for us.
Yes, I remember it very well. Yes.
So that week was a pinnacle week. We did and learned some of our live streaming during times of our own personal crises. And isn't it true that Wycliffe says it is often in the private crucibles of our lives that our noblest dreams are revealed and God's greatest gifts are given in compensation for what we have lost.
Mercy.
I love that quotation
Mercy.
from Pastor Wycliffe. So one of the lessons I've learned is that you just have to do what you have to do. Don't wait for the right season. Just do what you have to do. And then, of course, I think the stage is set for the end times. That's one of the lessons I learned.
I'm 100% with you on that. Absolutely 100%.
The stage is set, and one of the sad lessons I've also learned is that I've come to realize that the wicked will continue to be wicked. And they're not going to turn to God and look for Him. But the humble and the wise shall find Him in such a season.
Mercy.
There are stories upon stories of many lives that have been changed simply because they tuned into MelVee. Those Sabbath night broadcasts, the Friday nights.
The Friday nights.
Someone would send me a message and say, I saw the pop-up of your live stream. I'm glad I tuned in. This has changed my life.
I needed that word at that particular time without having to go to church. Just my phone, just popping it up and opening up and listening, taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, listening to it. And it just changes your perspective on what's happening around you.
And so deciding to go live with a prayer program Saturday night for 5 hours, the stories and the testimonies of lives changed and lives touched that we chat with every day, it's been unparalleled. It's been so fulfilling. So I think my recommendation is, if your church let me talk to the churches, because that's our largest clientele for MelVee Broadcasting Network. If your church hasn't invested in equipment right now or in the last year, and your elders and your leaders have not bought equipment for live streaming, you should know. They will never do it.
True.
And they will never catch up with where the world is going.
True.
Because audio visual is the future of the church and our interactions. It's the new normal. And so my encouragement is that don't miss this boat. When we started as MelVee, I feel we were 10 years ahead of the game. We didn't know lockdowns are coming. But when they came, they found us ready. We don't know what's coming in future. I'm just praying that may it find us ready. Yeah. I mean, I could go on with many lessons.
Yeah.
But I think for this episode, I just want our viewers out there to know that we have adapted and we have decided to include in our strategy live streaming. And I encourage all of our broadcasters, our churches, our media teams out there to consider live streaming as one of their strategies to grow and reach more audiences and get more subscribers and thereby change more lives. Yeah.
While you're on there, so to the viewers as well, if you haven't pressed subscribe, please do so just on the button on your left side. Yeah. Just press subscribe on MelVee, pop-ups will come up and you will be informed of what we are doing.
They must
every
always
single
remember
time.
to press that button.
Yeah.
The bell.
The bell.
That's
right
where the
on
notifications
the
are.
notification comes.
Yeah.
It pops up on your phone. So please do. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget.
Yeah.
Just on the left button, just written subscribe. Press on it.
Yeah.
There's also a little bell. Press on it as well, so that we can always be interactive and talk while we're live streaming, and we also get to engage with you and know you better over virtually rather. That's better. So thank you, Uncle Mel.
You're welcome.
I think I'm well.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm well aware of what happens behind the scenes.
Thanks very much. So maybe the question is, when are we going to do the next live?
I think I'm going to be on that live stream, guys. Watch me out. Catch me out soon on the live stream.
Great.
I'll be there.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to say something unscripted during live stream.
No, we now have the privilege after that to go back and trim you out.
Okay, all right. Okay, we can't do that. Can't be trimmed out.
Thanks very much.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, for taking time to listen to us. May you be blessed. May you be protected. God truly bless you. Thank you.